This week, tomorrow, women's swim and dive compete in the NCAA championships through Saturday. Baseball is at Loyola Marymount starting at 7 p.m. Friday the 17th. Softball has back-to-back games at Iowa State starting at 12 and 2. Women's tennis, big victory last week over Utah. Women's tennis versus Harvard in California at 3:30. Also on Friday is men's tennis versus Texas Tech at the Student Tennis Center at 4. Baseball at Loyola Marymount at 7. And the women's NIT game, BYU versus Rice, here at the Mary Center, 7 p.m. on BYU TV if you can't make it. Saturday, we have men's and women's track and field. They compete at the Sacramento State Invitational all day. Softball has back-to-back games at Omaha starting at 10 and 12:30. Women's tennis at Cal Poly starting at noon. Men's tennis at Oregon starting at noon. Baseball at Loyola Marymount at 1. And women's gymnastics compete in the MRGC Conference Championship in Cedar City starting at 6 p.m. You got that? If you don't got it, look on the website. It's all there. But it's fun to just say it in here because we're all on the same page. Okay. Now it's time to turn it over to the two coaches that came today. First is Bruce Brockbank. He's our head golf coach. He's an incredible person, local boy. He's been with the team as a coach after his time as a player in 1988. He's a 6-time conference coach of the year with 6 additional conference championships. In his 27 years as head coach, he's led the team to 58 tournament wins. 3 weeks ago in Hawaii, they had a big win. They're coming up a big tournament in Stanford, and then after that, another one in the Bay Area that they're going to go smoke everyone at. That's how I feel. He's led the Cougars to 10 trips to the NCAA tournament, including a 4th place finish in 2005. Fun fact about Bruce, he's an avid skier and fisherman, and he used to run the BYU ski school, my favorite sport. So with that, Bruce Brockbank, head golf coach.
Chad makes that sound a whole lot better than really what it is. All those conference championships, I think they've stacked those a little bit just to try to make it look a little bit better because of Coach Tucker, who was here quite a few years ago. So keep stacking them up, Chad. And yes, and I'm very ticked off. About 4 years ago, maybe 5, they took away the ski school from the golf coach. I mean, how in the world can you possibly do that? Where's Larry Hall? Larry, stand up. See, when Larry was here, he let me do the ski school, and then when he retires, they kick me out and turn it over to the recreation department. But anyway, I wanted to recognize a couple of coaches that are here. Larry Hall coached the tennis team. How many years, Larry?
10.
10. Awesome. And then Tim Powers, our swim coach. I've been here, y'all, we gotta throw this out there. Carl Tucker was here, I believe, 30 years. This is my 31st year. And what a great ride, by the way. And then Tim, I think 40 what?
No, 37.
37. Guess I'm not going to get to that. 37 years for our swimming coach. I guess that's what you get to do when you're as mature or as old as some of you here. Not quite as old as Chad, but anyway. But so nice of you to be here. Appreciate the opportunity to spend a little time. I'm just going to go over some of the things that we do as golf coaches. Coach Todd Miller and I have been together for about 15, it might be more now, but what a privilege to be able to work with Todd. Chad mentioned that I was a decent guy, but Todd Miller is the real guy, and we just try to keep up with him. But thank you for all you do for BYU Athletics. It's a big reason that we're able to do what we do with our student athletes is because of the Cougar Club. And I can't thank you enough for all the things that you do, the support. And you're also a big reason why we have a chance to, on July 1st, officially be a part of the Big 12. And so thank you very much. How about a nice hand for all of you? Also, I want to mention that doesn't happen without an administration that is in golf terms or Brockbank terms. Our administration's just flat getting it done. Tom, Brian, and Liz, the last 5 years through the COVID and the interesting times that we live in, to be able to do what we're doing July 1st is incredible. So for our administration, how about a nice hand? Tom, Brian, and Liz. Let's see here. I'd like to thank the Cougar Club staff, Greg, Randall, and so many others for putting these on for you all and sometimes for the coaches. If we were a little bit better, we would be here as coaches supporting the others, but we don't do a very good job at times. But Greg and Randall, thank you very much. And Jana Lee, where's Jana Lee? I think she's in the back. Jana Lee, wave your arm back there because we need to make sure that she gets enough credit for babysitting Chad, Robbie, and Lee. And just ask those three how bad it is to try to keep Lee in check. So babysitting duties, you're 100%. Thank you. All right, let's see. Brick Oven, we've talked about the delicious food. They're always there to feed us and help us along. And then Coca-Cola, nobody better than they are. Our golf team, we have 11 people on the team. Most of our kids are from in-state. Now, that's not always been the case, but our in-state golfers there's some incredible talent the last 5 or 10 years. And we probably have, this is Coach Brockbank talking about, there's a young man that's a sophomore locally that, in my opinion, he will be one of the best players in the country in his class. And I probably ought to just leave it at that so I don't break any NCAA rules. But we have just a number, not only that young man, but there's probably every year there's 4 or 5 kids that could help definitely our program, the others in the state and around the country. We've played 8 of our 14 events. The team's been ranked as low as 35 in the country and as high as 50. So let's go. As low as 57 is the lowest, and our high is 35, and we're ranked right now 40th. We play 5 tournaments in the fall, and then we take a couple of months off, and then we play 9 tournaments in the spring, so a total of 14. We're heading for Stanford in a couple of weeks, and then we play, like Chad mentioned, in Santa Cruz at Pasatiempo. It's about I think 10, 11, 12. It's on TV, so if you want to watch a little bit of that, hopefully we'll play well enough to catch some TV time. And then we have the Cougar Classic in the middle of April at Riverside Country Club. That's the only tournament that we play at home. The criteria, every tournament that we play, out of when we started in Albuquerque in September, every round, every tournament qualifies us for the NCAA tournament. So you've got to go and you've got to play and play well. And usually, what do you want to say? The top 60 teams will qualify for the NCAA tournament in the rankings, and all the conference championship winners. So we travel around 5 in the, like I said, fall, 9 in the spring to try to get a spot at the NCAA regionals. Low scores, head-to-head, scoring average, strength of schedule, those are some of the criteria that help you qualify for those tournaments, for the NCAA tournament. The state am champ, Zach Jones, who won the state amateur last year, won the Arizona Intercollegiate in January. His first collegiate win by 3 shots. He shot 16 under par. Young man from Lone Peak High School. And then, as Chad mentioned, the team shot 54 under par at the John H. Burns in Hawaii, and I think we broke the record by 6 or 7 shots. So it's we've got an exciting team. We're really, really good when we're on, and bad coaching when we're off. So Miller and I are trying to figure that out. Okay, let's see the remaining schedule. You can always look that up. Like I said, we have 6 tournaments left. Our past players in the pro, this is always fun. You have Mike Weir, that's on the Champions Tour. You have Zach Blair, who is on the PGA Tour. He's playing first round of the Valspar, I think, today. And then you have Daniel Summerhays, Patrick Fishburne, and Peter Quest, who are on the Korn Ferry Tour. And then you have Rhett Rasmussen is another one of our players in the last 2 or 3 years that has left and playing professionally on the PGA Canada. So that gives you a little bit of a rundown. Do we have, I know you're all here to hear from Coach Olmsted, so I'm going to get out of the way real quick. However, I do have some questions and we're going to give away some prizes. But does anybody have any questions? Please.
Tell us about Peter Quest. How is he doing?
Peter Quest is what? I think he graduated, well, we're hoping he'll graduate sometime, but he left a little bit early. He's got conditional status on the Korn Ferry. Professional golf is really tough, and you need to find a place to play. And if you're not getting the reps and playing tournaments, it's hard to get a lot of momentum. So he's out there just playing mini tours right now, working his tail off trying to get a spot on the Korn Ferry. And then from there, it used to be where you could qualify for the PGA Tour. Now you have to qualify for the Korn Ferry Tour, play all year, and then if you're one of the top 25, you get a job on the PGA Tour. And then 25, now I'll just confuse it because I'm not even sure myself. But he's out there working his tail off trying to get there. Thanks for asking. Please.
There's some talk about how going to the Big 12 will benefit some of the athletic programs here, or hopefully will benefit and give us a little bit of a bump. In recruiting, you mentioned a lot of them are from Utah and whatnot. Do you expect that might be expanded? And also, to what extent might you experience a bump in your golf recruitment?
Yes, we hope like crazy that our, the level that we're recruiting at this point in time will jump up, and we're seeing some of that already. However, in the last 2 years, you don't see this too often, but Arizona State, Oklahoma State, UCLA have been in here recruiting some of these young people. But we're getting more letters from kids in Texas. We're working on a couple of kids from South America, and hopefully we'll have a chance to get back in Canada, kind of where Coach Tucker used to hang out quite a few years ago. But I do think that it will elevate, and the facilities that we're building and Riverside Country Club, as we continue to build and provide opportunities for kids, yes, hopefully we will jump a couple of levels in where we're at. Thank you. Please.
Why is your practice facility in Fox Hollow instead of locally?
Great question. We've tried with the property on the south side of Riverside. How do I say this without making anybody angry? We've tried to use that locally and try to build something there, but there's a lot of things happening for the campus on that property. So that's always been, Carl tried to do that for quite a few years. I think the reason that we went out there is just the opportunity. The cost was very minimal. They had about 4.5 acres. We had some friends that said, if you come in and clean it up, we'll charge you a little bit of money. And we just felt like we needed to upgrade our facilities and take a little bit of pressure off the members at Riverside Country Club. When you have 10 men's players and 10 women and we're all in the same spot over at Riverside, it gets really busy. And so what we were able to do is go over there, have a place for our team to work and practice. And then obviously the privilege of playing at Riverside Country Club, that is a big draw for our recruiting. So that's why we're out there. It's just it all kind of fell together, and we've had some great support from our boosters to put that together. We have about I'll just throw this out, $2.5 million facility, and we're hoping in the next 30 to 90 days that it will be under the athletic department umbrella. The the people that have built that for us are donating it to the university. Thank you.
Out of all the athletic teams, how does the golf team keep going to all these exotic places? Ireland, Scotland, Hawaii, the Mexican Caribbean. You guys must know something.
You know what? I'm going to blame that on Coach Tucker. We're just trying to follow his lead. Hey, we get every 4 years you get to go on an international trip, and Coach Miller, he has a. Hey, it's not only the golf team. Where are you going? Where'd you just go?
Well, Brazil.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, there we go. We do have a bad rep for. Anyway, please.
How is your daughter doing that played on the soccer team a couple years ago?
Thank you. She's doing great. She, let's see, she is going to go on the foreign trip with the girls here in another month. I think it's April. But she had an incredible career here. And it's amazing how fast that 4 year. Lisa and I, my wife, we were so excited about watching soccer for the next 20 years, but it goes by real fast. It's amazing how quick they graduate. But thank you. Please.
Is there any connection between BYU golf and Tony Finau?
You know, I'll tell you, I don't know how much time we have here, but I'll say this. Tony, I went to Tony's home and tried to get him to commit and catch up academically, because I really felt like it would be a great thing for him to play college golf, even though the plan was just to play professionally. And long story short, there's not a lot said about it, but he committed to, if I'm going to play college golf, I'm going to BYU. This is Coach Brockbank's story. He might tell you another one. But I'm going to go to BYU, and he did do the academic work. I talked to the counselor about the time that it was the deadline. He goes, Coach, he can go. And so we were really excited about that because we thought he could help us. And unfortunately, he decided to turn professionally. But wow, what a great job he's doing right now. It's exciting to see what he's doing all over the country with his game and family and just a great ambassador. Please.
And to help be a recruiter for you, he lives in Lehigh. He used to live in Lehigh full-time, now lives in Lehigh some. He bought a place in Arizona. So he goes down to Arizona in the winter and comes up in Lehigh in the summer. So anyway, just to let you know.
Great. All of you keep recruiting. Okay, I think please.
I'm just wondering, do you have the kids compete every week for who gets to play, or do you kind of stay, I know you stay a lot with the same ones, but do they have to keep their spot every week, or how do you work the inner squad for which kids get to go?
That's a great question. We're always qualifying. Next week on Monday, we're going to try to play, depending on the weather, we're going to try to play 72 holes, and we'll play for probably 2 of the 5 spots. 3 of the kids will be exempt. And then we leave the following Wednesday for Stanford. So always competing inter squad all the time. And yes, coach picks, especially this time of year, we'll try to take the 5 guys that have done the best job this year. Okay, I've got a couple of, how much time? I don't want to take Sean's time. Okay, I have an umbrella. What year, and with the weather, what year did Carl Tucker, raise your hand if you know, what year did Carl Tucker and the BYU golf team win the NCAA championship? What year and the course? And I'll give you a...
The guy right over there.
Please.
It's 1981, but I don't know the course.
Here, I'll take
That's
it.
good enough.
There we go.
1981 at Stanford Golf Course. So we're going back to Stanford in 2 weeks, and like Chad says, we're going to kick the tail out. Well, I'm not going that. Wait, let's hold off on that one. But we're playing at, what is it called? Tell me, where did I tell you we were playing?
Harding Park.
Harding Park. We're playing in San Francisco because they're hosting other events or doing some renovations. So we're doing that. Okay, how many tournaments did Peter Quest win at intercollegiate tournaments in his 4 years at BYU? Does anybody have any idea?
8.
How many?
8.
Close.
10.
There you go. 10.
I'll take it for you.
10 tournaments. Okay, what years did Bobby Clampett win the Player of the Year for BYU? 78. You guys are good. Okay, we gotta be a little more. There's 2 years, so 78 and, nope, it's not 78. What are they? But
76.
His golf bag is in the Student Athletic Building Legacy Hall.
Yes.
But I don't remember what it says.
don't be afraid to raise your hand because 78's really, really, really close.
If you run real fast, you can find out.
76, 77.
Other side of that. Other side of 88. Please. Yes. 79
Who said that?
and 80 right here. Okay, we got a dozen golf balls. Let's see what we did here. Sorry, Sean. No. Okay. In what city did Daniel Summerhays win? It's the Korn Ferry now. It used to be the web.com. When he was a junior at BYU, he won a Korn Ferry event. What's that? Columbus, Ohio. There's a dozen golf balls for Richard. Here, give him that glove too. Thanks you all. Appreciate all you do for BYU Athletics.
Thank you so much, Bruce. What a stud. Great coach. I'm glad I've been able to play a few rounds of golf with him through the years, and so glad he's our coach. Okay, on to our men's head volleyball coach, Sean Olmsted. California native, two-time national champ as a player in 2001 and 2004. If he's giving out trivia later, there you go. He's been coaching the men's volleyball team since the 2016 season. He's a four-time MPSF Coach of the Year. And we're going to stay in the MPSF as we go into the Big 12. Do you know why? Because not every Big 12 team has a volleyball team. Yeah, no, there you go. See? They're afraid of us. You know I'm just having fun. Those Big 12 people who are watching our streaming video, calm down. We're good. He has a record of 145 and 56. This is cool. 4 times he's been to the national championship as a coach. 1 as the women's coach and 3 times as our men's coach. People are dying, like the cemetery, to get in. They're dying to get to the national championship game. I'm so glad he's our coach. He's married to Farah, and they have 3 daughters and 1 son. Here's a fun fact about Sean Olmsted. He loves his mental health so much and caring about his mental health that he's hiked every one of these mountains around us that you can see multiple times. So he'll wake up hours before the sun rises and go to the top of this summit of all these mountains, come back down and work all day. That's what he does. He's done 100-mile races. He's done the Moab 240. Do you know what that means? It means like a pioneer on your feet, you go for 240 miles. Whoever does it first wins. Okay, I know you think that's a little crazy, but that's what he does to stay sane. He's an incredible human being, coach, person, and a great friend, Sean Olmsted.
All right, let's go. I'm going to start this out. I think a lot of people enjoy or don't enjoy me speaking because I sometimes, anyone that knows me knows I'll go outside the box a little. It may or may not have gotten me in trouble at times, but did you guys listen to Chad start at the beginning of the intro? Like, I bet some of you guys started to get a little fired up, like, let's go Big 12. So I'm going to do something. Chad doesn't even know I'm going to do this, but I got a phone. And Chad and I love getting out, and we've gotten out together a lot on these mountains, like Chad says. And Chad should start a business, and people should pay him to go spend a morning or an evening with Chad Lewis. Your life will completely change. Your life will change. And so years ago in 2000, so remember how he was speaking, hey, we're going to the Big 12. What'd you say, Chad? We're going to go through it? Something like that? Okay, so 2019, we're playing, is that when we played Liberty football here? I think so. Okay, 2019. And I get a text the day before the Saturday football game, and Chad's super busy. Chad's an outstanding father, stake president. At the time you weren't. And then his day with home football games. And so Chad sends me a text like sometime in the afternoon, and I think it was a picture. I don't have that text because, you know, you've updated your phone, but it was like, Sean, what are you doing tomorrow? I was probably like, I don't know, but I like where this is going. Talk to me. And I think he sent me a picture, and if you know Timp, you know that there's a way up. There's a couple different trails up Timp. You know, you've got Timpanuki, you've got Aspen Grove. But if you're hardcore like that dude, and I spent years going up, and I love it. I love going up. I keep track of my times. My best time going from Timpanuki to the top for an old fart like me is like 150, I think. I can get from the parking lot to the top of Timp. There's a student athlete, just so you guys know, Christian Allen, here at BYU that holds the record, and there's pros that go and they keep track on Strava. They keep track on Strava. That kid, he's a current BYU runner, went from the parking lot at Timpanuki to the top of Timp to the hut in an hour and 11 minutes. Okay? Hey, but wait, I want that same response when you hear how Chad and I did, all right? Okay? But let me get back to that story. Hey, Sean, what are you doing? I don't know. I like where this is going. He says, I want to go straight up the face of Timp tomorrow morning. You want to go? There's no trail straight up. You guys seen Timp? All right, Chad, let's do it. So I don't know, met at like 3 in the morning. I don't know, something like that. And if you spend time with Chad, it's the most uplifting, spiritual, mentally beautiful, just everything that Chad talks about. The dude has never had a bad day. Okay? So I pulled up this video. He does, and I don't know. You can't really. Well, maybe we won't see it, but we're gonna hear it. And so Chad's right. I like to get up, and I get on top of all these peaks. Every one of them, I've been up, and I'll go early. I take my dog Pepper, and I send Chad and Tom a video. Right, Chad? Yep. Every peak. Hey, morning. It's gonna be a great day. I'm gonna make it back down. I'll see you guys down at BYU in a bit, and that's kind of our routine. So at this time, remember there was the Liberty football game. This is at 6:57 in the morning. And he's got a football game, and I'm going to play this. Let me make sure my volume's on. Okay? Morning, Tom. Big Chad Lewis right there.
Tom, you don't float up the mountain. Every step's a grind, you know it. It's a beast. Let's beat Liberty.
Love it.
And San Diego State.
BYU in the distance. Almost to the top, baby. Every step's a grind. Now you hear Chad? Listen to Chad again. Chad didn't know I was sending this. They're going to show this. Big Chad Lewis right there.
Tom, you don't float up the mountain. Every step's a grind, you know it. It's a beast.
That's a human being right there. I got another one. Don't worry. Chad and I decided to go October, and he knew. I forgot when we went. I leaned over to him right now, and I said, Chad, when did we go this year? And it was somewhere in October. We went in the morning. We got up to the top of Timp. Remember the ooh and the ah? Chad and I got up there in under 3 hours from Timpanuki Trailhead to the top. There we go. And we got up there, and the heavens opened. Wouldn't you say, Chad? I could not believe my eyes, and Chad couldn't either. It was the most, so we got up to the top, and we were going to head down, and I don't think the sun had come up entirely, and it was just one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen, morning. And in that moment, we were closer to God, that's for sure, in that moment. But here's another video, and make sure the volume's on. This is us coming down. Look at these colors. If I say something bad, it's me. My bad. And the big guy, Chad Lewis. Unreal morning, Chad. Best decision we've made in a while, right?
Our whole life.
In our life, right there.
Second home is like vision and marriage.
There we go. Right there, coming up today, this morning. And one more thing. You know, when I first decided that Chad's right, I just needed to be better. I needed to be a better dad, a better husband, a better person. I was getting all consumed in just, I don't know, life, whatever you want to call it. And for me, it was running. It was climbing, hiking, whatever you want to call it, being out where I truly feel closer to myself, to my Father in heaven, to my family. And so I'll get up 2 a.m., 1 a.m., I'll go all night. I've done that many times so that I don't take away time from my kids. It doesn't impact that. But yeah, so I don't call those things races because hey, I ain't racing nobody. I'm just a part of a cool event. But what I was getting at is just, you know, for me, that's a wonderful opportunity. It makes me better at everything I do in life. And so I decided that I was going to start doing this, and Chad was always just so supportive. And I remember I made this decision. I ran a 50-miler, and I was like, all right, I'm going to never do that again. And then within a day, I'm signed up for a 100-miler, my first ever. And I remember I told Chad, and I remember I told him, and it was honestly like 6 months, 8 months, maybe even longer before that actual event. And I never really said anything more than that. Yeah, we would go get out, but I wouldn't talk too much about it. And I was driving down, I was down in Moab in the La Salle Mountains, 100-mile event, my first 100-miler. And Chad remembered, it was the day before. Like, what that guy's got on his plate? Just, Sean, you're going to kill it. So excited for you. He knew how much it meant to me, etc. But there's Chad Lewis, like, huh? And last story, I'll get on to other stuff. I ran that Moab 240, the 240-mile event. And if any of you know David Goggins, maybe you've heard that name. The language is like you would see it online, so maybe don't go Google. But anyways, I didn't run against him, excuse me. He finished second that year, but I ran with him a little bit, and he's just like you would think. And so I had that experience. But I was about in night 2. And Chad knew I was doing this. I was about night 2, and I was just in the dump. I was probably maybe halfway. I was somewhere in the Abajo Mountains. It started in Moab, and so if you know the area, you go from Moab all the way out to the the Shea Mountain, kind of towards the Abajo, the Blue Mountains. Then you circle around to the La Salle Mountains. You go up to the end of the La Salles, and then you come back to Moab. But anyways, I was night 2 again. Sorry. And I was just down in the dumps. And I get a text, and my phone's in my waist usually or in my pack, but my watch can get texts. And it was the middle of the night. And it was a text from Chad, and he said, Sean, he knew I was just going to be in a nasty place. Like, you want life to be over, but it's just, anyways. And he just said, look around you, Sean. If you look around, there's angels around you. They're there. I'm certain of it. And it's the middle of the night, and this guy's thinking about me. So, geez, I went too long. I don't even need to keep talking, do I? Do we need to talk anything about BYU sports? Hey, but I'm honored that I was here with Bruce. Because that's my guy. We fished together. He's Chad, Bruce. There's just so many wonderful people here at BYU. The Cougar Club, thank you guys. You guys being here, I can't tell you how much that means. And you guys, the commitment, the sacrifices you guys make, BYU is such a wonderful place. You guys know that. That's why you're here. That's why you're willing to help. That's why you've been helping. You continue to help. And it's an exciting time for everybody. I joke, I'm the only one not going to the Big 12. So, It's fun to run into people at church or the grocery store, like, because the excitement right now is the Big 12, and it should be. So many people have put their heart and souls, what Tom and Brian and Liz and and the President Worthen, Vice President, all the way up to the Board of Trustees, they have put their heart and souls into this opportunity. I know that. I see it. And so, everyone, hey, aren't you excited? Even my own father-in-law, like, Sean, I think I showed up at his house for Sunday dinner after the announcement. He had like a Big 12 shirt on. I was like, hey, it's a nice shirt, yeah, and we're going, we did it, we're going to the Big 12. I said, no, we're not, I'm not, like they are, like, it's awesome though, like it's good. This is super, super exciting for us. We are a part of the main. A rising tide lifts all boats, and I'm in it. Rising tide lifts all boats, and we're in this thing. We're locked. We're ready to go. And if Heather ever gets sick or injured, we got a sub right here. We'll go. Olmsted. No one will know the difference. We'll be good. So we're rolling. We're rolling into our season. The guys have actually done a very, very nice job. It's a really exciting team to be a part of. We've had some guys really, really step up. We had a kid that had pulled his red shirt for the second year in a row. We needed him to do that. And those are the moments that you guys don't see. Because those are the moments where a young man that is rare in our day and age thinks nothing of himself and says, Coach, what do you need me to do? I'll do it. That's rare. Guys, that's rare in this day and age. And when this young man did that last year, listen closely. This is how awesome this young man is. He did it with 4 games remaining last year. In a year where we had a difficult year. I brought that kid in to my hotel room on a road trip. And I just said, Noah, we've got 4 matches left. We could make some spectacular run at the end, but realistically, we got 4 matches left. But I see what you do. I'm seeing what the guys have bought into. I'm seeing what the guys are doing with you. I want to play you. But I also understand that this has been your redshirt year, and there's only 4 matches left. Did not miss a beat. He said, let's go, Coach. I'll do it. And we did it. And then this year, we got a really, really talented grad transfer. With the transfer portal, a young man that had graduated from another school, finished his undergrad, finished his master's. He's faulting about 1 more class, and he'll finish. And he came to BYU because of the COVID stuff and et cetera. And so when he got here in the fall, we as coaches saw that, hey, he was likely going to be our starting setter. So I brought Noah in. And Noah, I said, hey, I'm thinking about let's redshirt you this year. Because we got Heath coming in. We got Heath, and he's doing a really, really nice job. And we can do that with you this year. And Noah said, yeah. I was out to dinner with Heath last night, of all people, with Heath last night. And I was thinking, like, hey, that might be a great idea. Just, great, Noah. We love you, and let's go. Let's push this team. You're going to be it doesn't change anything in practice or anything. Redshirt doesn't. And about right before we were going to go play UCLA, 2 or 3 days before, we were going to go play UCLA. Heath was reaching for a ball in practice, what you do 1,000 times, and doink, broke his finger, good break. And but we didn't know, in those situations when you've got, it's one of those funky ones you see and the finger's like sideways. Sometimes Finau, remember, everyone saw Finau do that with his ankle, and he's like reaching down and pops the thing back in, and I'm good to go. So we've had those things have happened quite a bit in volleyball, and they're not always, they're just boom, put them back in, and there's no damage. So we didn't know, and And I think actually that day Heath finished practice, and we really did not know. Our trainer was actually like, I'm pretty confident. I think it's just one of those that we've seen before. And so, okay. I go home, and he was going to be going to the hospital to do just the x-rays. And it was actually, hey, we're just going to do the x-rays because we're pretty confident that everything's pretty stable, but let's just do it just because. Then I get a call, of course. And so the first call I got to make is to Noah, because now we need Noah again to pull his red shirt. And called him, it was about 6:37. Noah. And, when a head coach calls you at that hour, like, we're not shooting the breeze, right? He's not like, hey, Sean, what's up? I was waiting for your call tonight, So, Noah picked up the phone, and I said, Noah, man, and he stopped me, and he said, John, let's go. I'm ready. It's not about me. It's about the team. And then I lost it. I couldn't even talk to him. Like, dang it, Noah. Like, you can't make the, okay, I gotta go. Y'all see you tomorrow. Like, it was just, that's where I was. You just don't see that. You don't see that as often as we would all like, buying into the team. And so here we are. I'm not going to give away if Heath's going to be playing or not, because I can kind of keep that in our back pocket maybe. If you've watched our games, you saw that Heath came in. If you watched Friday night, you saw the progression of Heath coming back in. He came in and served, and then went back out. Saturday night, he came in and served and played those rotations. Our substitutions, just so you know, are nowhere near what the girls have. They can make up to 15 or 16. We can only do 6. So if you go in, you've got to come right. You can only go out for that guy, and then you're done. So, but we've got a good bye weekend. It came at just a perfect time as it relates to school for the guys, as it relates to a little some of those health things I mentioned. And so it's exciting. We're going to have a conference stretch. The conference announced our schedule and said, hey, BYU, you get to go on the road for the first 3 opponents, back to back, pretty much. That's why we were on the road 5 of 6 weeks. I don't know. I've never done that in my career. And every year I get more and more years under my belt with the women's team and the men's team. Never have I done that. So that was a first. And I think I, of course, go in there and like, we're going to dominate this thing. It'd be dishonest of me to say that it was not difficult on the guys as it relates to school, balancing everything, but the guys did a great job. And then we came home and, had a wonderful weekend against Ohio State. And now we'll get this bye week. And then we've got these 3, and really good ones, Pep, SC, and Stanford. So we've got 3 opponents here that we get. We're going to have you guys rocking the Smith Fieldhouse. We're going to have everybody in there, and it's going to be awesome. The crowd against Ohio State, you guys are amazing. And everybody watching from other parts, anyone that's been there personally, I can't thank you guys enough. And if I could, I would hug each one of you. COVID's gone. It's over. Let's go. And just tell you guys, from the bottom of my heart, thank you for supporting these young men and and the support you guys give us. So that's what we got down the stretch. And so I'll keep it a little secret about Heath and his finger, so don't ask that question. And then I'm going to do some, I think, thanks to Bruce. Good idea, Bruce. I got to do that. I've never done that. So I called our director of ops and said, hey, bring me over some hoodies and some hats. So we'll do some questions. And then if you guys got any questions, I'll give some questions for the prizes. But if you guys have any questions, I'll do my best to answer them right now. Because we talked on the way in, so let's see what you got.
All right, Coach. Having been in the Air Force, I know about call signs. I have 2 questions. Why did you cut your mustache off before the Top Gun game?
I did not know that Top Gun was coming out, so I probably should have kept a closer eye on Twitter. I don't have Twitter, but maybe current events, maybe TMZ.com, something like that. maybe I would have known that Top Gun, because I would have kept it, honestly, because I could pull that off. I could pull that off pretty well.
My second question is, you won the first two sets of the Ohio State game, and then in the third set, it looked like the Ohio State lost the call, and then you lost the call, and you got emotionally excited with the referee.
Yeah.
Did that happen to you that night?
Yeah, I was really wanted in and out. Flying Dutchman, a couple Flying Dutchmen with pickles and mustard, protein burger, protein style, and he wanted Costa Vida. So I didn't feel like we were on the same page. That's all. I mean, that's what it came down to. I got yeah.
John Stanley is a serving specialist.
Yeah.
We sit so far away, we can't really see why he's a serving specialist. What's unique about his serve that you bring him in just for that? And then secondly, you missed the rock down on the floor.
Yeah. Can I answer the question about the rock, Tom and Brian? Like if I miss it? Sorry. Yes, I do. Yes. To answer that part. And then John Stanley. That's a great question. John Stanley, the last few years, has statistically, apart from the years that he played with Gabby, so take away that year, but that year, John was like our second highest point scorer. That means when John went to serve, the likelihood of us getting a point was really, really high, statistically very, very high. And we saw John do that. You know, down the stretch that year with Gabby, John won the match for us against the semifinal. He took it over against Lewis, got on the service line. Lewis couldn't control the ball. He has what's called it's called a hybrid serve. Yeah, so it's not a float serve. It's also not a topspin serve. So it's like an in-between. And he goes and gets it right into the back of that court, and you get the other teams moving backwards. And that's what John does really, really well. And this year, we've actually left John out to dry a little bit because he's put us in those opportunities. And, you know, we were just watching this with our guys, all of John's serves and the opportunities where we kind of dropped the ball in a different touch. So we didn't get John back on there. So statistically, he's not our best server this year. He actually should be if we took better care of those touches down the stretch. But that's what John's got, this really, really good hybrid that if you know volleyball, you don't see it that much. Most guys, it's a float serve or a spike serve, a jump serve. Yeah.
He digs real well also.
Yes, he does. Yeah. Yep.
So it seems like more and more schools are taking interest in and even adding men's volleyball.
Yeah.
Do you have a sense of where it's going kind of in the out years and what that'll mean for the MPSF?
Yeah.
Especially like if Big Ten takes
Yeah.
men's volleyball, that'll take UCLA and USC out.
Yeah, no, it is continuing to grow. There's an outstanding organization, First Point, that's doing a lot of work and adding these programs that right now they're working a little closer with some of the smaller schools, but it's adding those opportunities to be Division I. So there is growth. They're going to be expanding the national tournament. That's good news because of the addition of those programs and teams. Beyond that, I really can't predict because then that gets into the Title IX stuff. So I don't know as it relates. Like right now, the MPSF is very, very strong. We're a stronger conference top to bottom this year than the Big West. We've got more teams ranked within the top 10, top 15. And so where that goes with the movement of UCLA and USC, I'm not real certain, to be honest, but there's growth, and that's a positive thing for our sport. I don't think there's going to come a time that we're going to be going to the Big 12, but there's definitely the sport is going to continue to grow, and those discussions are ongoing for sure. Yeah.
I wonder if you're talking about two things. One, recruiting, and then number two, this team is different from teams I've seen in past years where you've had outstanding All-Americans that we lean on.
Yep.
Last year was tough, but this year I'm watching a team where there's no one guy you go to, but
Yep.
collectively they're better.
Great observation. So let me start there because I brought these guys in day one, meeting one. Said, all right, boys, look around. This is probably the first men's volleyball team other than the inaugural year. That's a tough word. Those are tough. Look around. I don't think there's ever been a year that the men's volleyball team has started a season without an All-American. Seriously, think about that. Ever. And this team's doing unreal. You know, and so part of it as a coach, you challenge those guys. All right, who's going to step up? And if you look at our team and you look at our, and if you follow volleyball, but let's say you don't follow volleyball, you can look at our team. This is a team. Like, we're making we're using our max amount of subs every set. No other team in the country is doing that. No one. So we have guys that, hey, I'm going to come to, it's getting down the stretch. John knows. John's over there. Like, you know, John's ready to go. Yeah, he's got a towel, and John's just cool as, that's a cool cat right there. And he, you know, other kids need to go get on the bike. John just looks at me and he's like, I got it, Sean. You know, he's got his hair slicked back. He's ready to go. But now we got Capono coming in and winning the match against Ohio State. That's a kid that was starting at the start of the season. We've gone into a rotation that I've never done as a coach, ever, which is a 3 outside hitter rotation. We've got our opposite that passes every rotation except one. I've never done that. You know, it's been out there and it's done by other teams. But as we, you know, us just learning more and more about our team, and so it's been fun. And I went in that, and I didn't go into that first meeting worried about it. I went into that first meeting, you know, pretty comfortable with who we had in the gym, and so kind of put it on those guys. Like, guys, this is exciting. This doesn't happen. We get to be a part of a team like this where, hey, there's no other. Who's it going to be? And I don't know how many All-Americans we're going to have, because this is a team effort. I don't know. We're not going to have a Davide Gardini. We're not going to have a Gabby Garcia. But you know, we're going to be a darn good team, and you're going to watch them continue to battle, and you're going to watch these guys continue to win matches together collectively. There's no doubt in my mind about that. But I don't know. We might not have an All-American at the end of the season. We may not, and it's a bummer. But you know, the guys have really bought into that. Recruiting, yeah. So we'll get some mission kids. We've got Tay out on a mission. We've got Ian Little coming back. He's an opposite 6'6" lefty coming back this year. His little sister is probably the top recruit in the country. That is, I can talk about her because she's already she signed and everything. She's gonna be playing for my sister Heather next fall. Everything I heard. I've never seen her play. It's my connections with old colleagues. She's the best recruit in the country, what I've heard. So that's exciting for Heather's team as they go into the Big 12. We've got Ian coming off our mission. The exciting thing is we don't lose many guys. So that's the reality of it. You know, Heath's going to be done, and Mitch is going to be done. You know, Mitch has been here. So Heath is done as a setter. So that's really exciting for us. Yeah. All right, a couple more questions. I probably got to go, right, Greg? One more? I might go more than one. All right. Yeah, behind. Sorry, in the blue hoodie. Then I'll come this way. Sorry. Yeah.
You might be aware, but the hoodie you're wearing at Warner Games is in high demand online, and no one can find it.
I may or may not have. We should do some arm wrestling. Like, forget the questions. Let's arm wrestle. Because I think I got a couple of those hoodies. I got the black model.
We can't win an arm wrestle, but we can race.
Okay. All right. Hey. I'll take you up on it. I'd love it. Let's get out. Let's go. But I think I got a few. Man. Yeah, my Dovo's in trouble. She brought more. She's got 4 hoodies right here. So stick around. All right. I'm going to go more than one. Sorry, and then we'll get out of here.
In 2020, at the end of the season, you were number 1.
Yeah.
So when do we get a banner up there for
Yeah. Yeah, we'll get it. Yeah. Good. Okay. We were. And the guys did a remarkable job, went to Hawaii. Best match I've been a part of. The best performance ever by a BYU volleyball team, hands down. Hawaii was number 1. We were 2. We hit like 700 on the night, 7, 8, 9 aces, I think. Gabby had 7 of them, probably. Hands down the best performance by a BYU volleyball team ever. Okay, last question. You look familiar.
You played for Carl McGowan.
Yes.
I don't see any similarity between the personality that we've seen today and Carl McGowan.
You wear the sweatshirt.
I would in the sweatshirt, yeah. But I would like to know, what are just a couple of things that you've taken from his coaching style or the way he works with his players and the way you do today?
Damn it. Can't do that to me. Because Carl came off, a lot of people thought Carl, he came off as this, it's Carl McGowan, and would I be correct in saying that he came off as abrasive? Or, would you agree? Or no? Maybe not?
I never saw him with the team.
Okay.
But with the family, yes.
Okay. He was one of the greatest people in my life. And yes, he told me straight to my face, Olmsted, you suck at volleyball. He told me that my freshman year. But then when my wife broke off our engagement, and at that time, I thought life was over, right? Because you do at that age. Like, life's over. Mom and Dad, I'm coming home to California. Like, I can't be here. The wife got a little smarter, wiser. The rest is history. Carl saw what the impact it had on me. And I didn't know that, though, because I had told him nothing. And I remember he grabbed me one day as I was walking out of the gym, and he pulled my shirt. He said, Olmsted. I said, yeah? He said, you're going to be at my house tonight at 6:30. Okay. And I was at his house that night at 6:30. So I just don't think enough people saw that. But those around him did. So I've done my best to care about these young men. They'll make a lot of great decisions, and they'll make poor decisions. And I'm going to do my best to put my arms around them and get them to be the best volleyball players they can be. And when they make dumb decisions, I'm going to knock them over the head, go, gosh darn it, and then we're going to tell them how much we care about them and how much we love them. And some of the notes, I've got voicemails still from Carl when I was taking the women's team to the finals that I'll never let go of. Because he just told me, I love you. I love you. And he told me, I'm proud of you. And he did lie, though, because he said, you're a better coach than I am. And there's no way in heck that I am close to Carl McGowan. So, let's give away some things. All right. Sorry, Greg. I apologize. You come up here. Okay. What year was the first national championship won? Okay. So I don't know how we're doing it. What? Yeah, he wants a sweater. Oh, yeah. It's going to be too hard. Sorry. Hey, I'll do my best to get some more of those sweaters. We'll do our best. What do you want me to do? Are you okay? Greg's making the rules, guys. Greg's making the rules. So, because I'll keep the difficult ones for later, then I guess for the sweatshirts.
We're alternating.
All right. What was the second year of a national championship? In the blue. I saw the blue first. 2001. I got to do better at keep my eyes up. Sorry, guys.
Sweatshirt.
I think I got to go a little more difficult. Okay. And who was the setter in 1999 that then redshirted and played in 2001? Hector LeBron. Oh, we got a sweatshirt on that one. All right. What do we have left? Okay, hat. What year was the next national championship? 2004. Who is that? I can't see behind the pole. I'm sorry. Got this pole. We got to do something about that. Make those see-through or something. Make them, we can get them glass with that Big 12 stuff. Let's redesign those, okay? How about that, right, Brian? Let's redesign these, take away the wood, then we can see everybody. All right. Gosh, dang. Okay. Caught me off guard. I've got a couple hats, but I'm just trying to think of questions. Yeah, and I want to make sure I'm correct. Oh, those are good ones. Okay. But I don't know if I know. But you already won a sweatshirt, and so I don't know. I don't know the answer. Like I should know. I'm probably. Yeah. All right. Hey, what year did we take the women's team to the national championship? Oh, the young lady in the back. What is it? Gosh darn it, you're right. What'd she get? A sweat? Oh, she got a sweatshirt and a hat. Wow, Greg's trying to get me out of here, guys. Greg's trying to get me out of here. All right, I get it. What do we got? One more?
One more.
All right. Hey, who is the greatest libero to have ever played here at BYU? Boom! Guys, thank you for coming. That's it. The questions are done. Go Cougars. Thank you guys for everything. If I can do anything, let me know. We're here.
Was that enough energy for us today? That was nice. That was good. So thank you for being here. We're gonna do our own little raffle. So everyone that's still here, if you have your tickets, pull them out, and we're gonna bang them out. So first thing is this this hat up here. Number is 648168. Over there. Boom. Good job. Next one, sweatshirt. 648122. Nice job.
Where was that one?
Up that aisle right there, coming down. Black BYU hat with a little camouflage on it. 648124. Camel hat and a shirt. 648116. In the very back. Blue stripe polo. 648097. This is women's. Must be a woman to win. Or if you got a wife, give it to her. Anyone wins. 648048. 048. Must be present to win. All right, switch it up. Next one.
We're gonna do
648021. Over there.
Okay, we're gonna do.
Thanks. Okay, the last one is a BYU backpack and a flag. So last one of the day right here. This one with the gum on it. I'm just kidding. 647953. Boom. Thank you so much for coming today.